Boxing back at it with another live stream. This is my breakdown and prediction for this World Boxing Super Series tournament Cruiserweight final that we have between Alexander Usyk from the Ukraine versus Russia's own Murat Gassiev. Now, this is a very good fight, ladies and gents. Boxing heads and fight fans around the world. You know why? Because this fight is for undisputed, For undisputed, man. You see these two guys in the tournament don't gotta beg and cry for these guys to unify at 100 and what is it? Below 200 pound limit. You know what I mean? These two guys want to get in the ring and mix it up. And I commend these guys. I commend Richard Schaefer too, man. When Richard Schaefer's in boxing, believe me, boxing is in a good place. Go look at 2013, what he was doing in boxing, man. Richard Schaefer was responsible for making a lot of classic fights that happened in 2013. 2013 was a very good year of boxing. That's when the whole Golden Boy, Richard Schaefer, Al Heyman, and all those guys, before they parted ways, of course, they moved their stable to Showtime, you know what I mean? And they had a tremendous year over there. They set it off with a bang, you know what I'm saying? But in this World Boxing Super Series, we've had so far this cruiserweight tournament, and man, it's shaping out to be one of the best things to happen in boxing in the last, I'll probably say, since it started. You know what I mean? And now we're here. We at the final. You know what I'm saying? Initially, this final was supposed to happen in Saudi Arabia. I wish it did. I ain't never seen no fights out of Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? I think that would have been awesome. But they moved it to Russia for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe ain't too many people want to fly out to Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Saudi Arabia, they still be having them Islamic Sharia laws. Maybe a lot of people ain't feeling traveling over there. But then again, I wouldn't be so keen on traveling to Russia my damn self anyways. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. That's where the World Boxing Super Series final's going to be at. And how these guys get here? I believe Usyk beat Marius Briedis in the first fight, in his last fight in the tournament, a close fight. And who did he beat before that? Was it Marco Huck? I think Marco Huck. You know what I'm saying? He beat Marco Huck. And the man, Gassiev, he beat Dorticos. In a fight, a lot of people had Dorticos winning. Believe you me, I wanted Dorticos to win that fight. You know what I'm saying? But I just felt that Murat Gassiev would be too much. I was kind of torn when I did my prediction. I wanted to go with my heart. I wanted to pick the man, Dorticos, but overall, I just had to ride with who I thought would win the fight, who was a better fighter at that given time. And I thought that the man Murat Gassiev would get it done, and sure enough, he did. Now, the man, and who did Murat Gassiev face before that? I believe he faced... who did he face before that in the tournament? Ah, shit, man. I can't even quite remember. It'll probably come to me while I'm doing this video, you know what I mean? But, the man Alexander Usyk, what's his record? I think he's like 14-0, probably like 12 KOs or 11 KOs, you know what I mean? I remember one time he was 10-0 with 10 KOs. But as he's facing more steeper opposition, those things are going to decrease. The KOs are going to decrease, you know what I mean? You check it. So, as far as skills, Murat Gassiev is a come-forward fighter, you know what I mean? A patient fighter by all means, you know what I mean? That fight he fought against Dorticos, this guy was patient as fuck, man, I thought he lost the first 4 rounds of that fight, you know what I mean? So to eventually come back and get the stoppage, oh man, that was tremendous. That's right. He beat the guy. What's his name? He beat that Rush. Was it Polish? Wojciech. Wojciech. That's who Gassiev beat. He knocked him out in the third round with the body shot. You know what I mean? And the man Murat Gassiev before that had a close split decision. I think I had that fight a draw versus Denis Lebedev. You know what I mean? So overall, both guys are in this position right now and to become undisputed. And I know this fight is going to live up to expectations. You know what I mean? Both guys going to be trying to bring the pain to each other. Um, Joe Blogs is in the chat. How you doing, man? What's happening, dogs? He says, I got Usyk points, but the Kremlin might rob the boy. Yeah, let me get into my prediction, man. I appreciate you giving me yours. Let me tell you what I think is going to happen one time. Now, as far as foot movement, I think Alexander Usyk definitely has a better foot movement. You know what I mean? You know, when the guy boxes, he's like a bigger version of a Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? You know, these guys are guys who rely a lot on motion and lateral movement. And the guy, what's his name, displayed that versus guys like when he beat, what's the guy he beat, Glowacki for the world title. You know what I mean? You check it, but you know, the man Alexander Usyk, for whatever reason, he hasn't been trying to fight with his foot movement like he used to. You know what I mean? This guy wants to try stand in the pocket. You know what I mean? And a guy with a good jab like Marius Breedis did, what he brought to the table, he gave the man a lot of problems. You know what I mean? You know, that fight was a close fight. You check it, and I think that the man Marius Wack, I'm sorry, not Marius Wack, Marius Breedis, some people had him winning the fight. I had the man Alexander Usyk. You know, Alexander Usyk being the southpaw, I think Alexander Usyk, he's going to use his jab, throw his jab to the body. You know what I'm saying? And the guy's going to be, what's his name's going to be in his high guard. You know what I mean? Protecting his rib cage. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to wait for openings. Murat Gassiev will. You know what I'm saying? And when he throws his punches, he's throwing power punches with accuracy to hurt opponents. You know what I mean? And he puts a lot of leverage into his punches. Unlike the man, what's his name? Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk, you know, he does catch guys flush, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying he's not, you know, he's not a hard hitter, you know what I'm saying? But I think the guys he beat earlier in his first ten fights, these guys were tailor made to be stopped by the man Alexander Usyk, you know what I mean? Usyk does has shown that he you know he has a killer instinct. I thought he proved that with when he fought that guy, that cruiserweight, when he fought at the MGM National Harbor, Michael Hunter. You know what I mean? The guy from Philadelphia. You know, this guy was giving Usyk work. You know what I mean? Usyk wasn't really moving around like that. You know what I'm saying? But eventually Usyk um, he stopped. He started now going to the man's body. You know what I'm saying? He started moving around using his boxing skill set, and he eventually, you know, he was hurting the man bad. I can't remember if it was a stoppage. I think that fight might have gone the distance, but it should have been stopped because Michael Hunter took a vicious beating in the 12 in I think in the 11th and the 12th round. You know what I mean? So I think that the man Alexander Usyk is gonna have to use a lot of movement, man, because the man, what's his name, is flat-footed. You know, he's flat-footed. Yeah, the man won by unanimous decision versus Michael Hunter. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna have to use a lot of movement, uh, pick his spots and shots. You know what I'm saying? And get the fuck up out of Dodge. Don't wait for the man Murat Gassiev to get an opening so he could fire back. You know what I mean? Those are the keys to victory I have for the man Alexander Usyk. Punches in bunches. You know what I'm saying? Don't leave any openings or any shots for the man Murat Gassiev to time him with, because that's what Murat Gassiev's all about. You know what I mean? That's what he did against Ortikos. If you watch that fight, if you didn't know nothing about these guys, you watch the first 3 rounds, you could have sworn that the man Dorticos is going to beat this guy. But that's not what happened, you know what I mean? Murat Gassiev was basically timing and waiting for this guy to throw his whole load. And Murat Gassiev started applying the pressure on him, you know what I mean? But I do like the man Alexander Usyk's body game, you know what I mean? With his power punches with his left hand or jab into the stomach, you know what I'm saying? Or left hooks, he definitely goes to the body, you know what I mean? But I think that the man Murat Gassiev is going to keep a high guard. We're going to see if this man can split the guard or go around with cuffing shots, you know what I mean? Looping hooks to offset the man Murat Gassiev, you know what I mean? Murat Gassiev is a very composed fighter, very mature beyond his age. You know what I mean? He does look much older than he says he is. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. But he does hit harder. That's a fact. I see what he did to that guy. Was it Abel? That dude named Abel. Man, he put that guy to sleep. He knocked him out the ring, you know what I mean? You check it, but Murat Gassiev is also a vicious body puncher his damn self, you know what I mean? He has a beautiful 1-2, you know what I'm saying? He's a patient fighter. And, this fight is going to be a clash of um, two styles that could eventually make, it could be, some people are predicting it's going to be a stinker. I personally think Murat Gassiev will take Alexander Usyk to places he's never been. You know what I mean? He's going to take him into deep waters. You know what I mean? And if Alexander Usyk gets caught with one of those flush right hands off the 1-2, whether it's a right hook, or the left hook, or the flush right hand by the man Murat Gassiev, he's going to hit the canvas. And if he gets up, I'll be shocked. You know what I mean? You check it. You see what the man did to the guy Dorticos in the 11th and the 12th round of their fight. You know what I mean? Murat Gassiev came through in the championship rounds, and that's what great. That shows that the guy is he realizes that it's time to to put the end to this, and that's what he did to the man. What's his name? Dorticos. All right. Let me see what they're saying in the chat. Joe Blocks is very close with Dennis. He's improved a lot in his last few fights. Yeah, I agree. It was a close fight. Could have gone either way. I had that fight a draw, or I might have had Murat Gassiev win by a point because I think if I recall, he did drop him in that fight. You know what I mean? I think with a body shot. Yeah. So I think I had Murat Gassiev edge it by a point. Joe Bloggs, he says, "What's up, man? What's goody?" James South says, "Did watch Usyk versus Joy Joyce in the amateurs? Yeah, I seen that fight. I hate to admit as I am a Brit, but Usyk put on a clinic, no question, man. He took Joy Joyce to school in that AIBA tournament. You know what I mean?" Joe Block says, "Yeah, Joe got schooled bad, 5-zip. Indeed. MBT, what's good, son? How you feeling, man?" He's in the chat. He says, "FOY, fight of the year." It could be, man. It could be. I think the clash of styles, if Alexander Usyk is made to fight, like basically how Marius Breedis brought the pain to him, and even how he fought Michael Hunter, I think it's going to be a good fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. Um, James says he got schooled, and MBT confirms he dropped him with a beautiful body shot. Yeah, I did recall that body shot, and I think that's what edged it for me for Murat Gassiev. You know what I mean? Because I thought I had that fight a draw. You know what I'm saying? But this fight being in Russia, and you know how Russia and Ukraine don't get along. You know what I mean? A few years ago, they had a kind of civil war going on over there. You know what I mean? Kiev over there where Vitaly Klitschko's the mayor of that city. There was a lot of static over there, man. A lot of turmoil going on over there. So, it's going to be tough for the man Usyk to come over there to Russia and beat this guy straight up and down, man. He's going to have to knock him out. Can he knock him out? I think Murat Gassiev is a tough dude, you know what I mean? I think he's a tough guy. You check it. I can't remember what fight I think he was vulnerable in. There was a fight that I think he was looking vulnerable. Which fight was that? Nah, I'm bugging, man. I'm thinking, I'm confusing Murat Gassiev because I knew him at the same time with that other Russian guy. Um, what's the guy's name? That guy Grovsdick. Grovsdick, he's the one who looked shaky versus Karpensi, you know what I mean? But I like what the man, Murat Gassiev, how he knocked out that Jordan Schimmel guy, you know what I mean? That was a vicious knockout in the first round. And he was on the PBC at first, you know what I mean? So, Murat Gassiev is a guy, I think Murat Gassiev will win this fight, you know what I mean? If the man Usyk tries to outbox the guy using like how he used to fight when he was under Ali Bashir, Mr. Bashir, basically the art of boxing, hit and not get hit, use a lot of foot movement, you know what I'm saying, stick and move, like how he fought Glowacki. He could win this fight, you know what I'm saying, but I think that the man Murat Gassiev is a determined guy, you know what I mean. This guy is an accurate puncher, man, when he waits for opponents not throw punches back. He's going to throw in the combination punches, and he can get rid of opponents, man. You know what I'm saying? MBT Boxing says Usyk was favorite, then the odds dropped heavy when they announced it in Russia, and now some places have Gassiev as a favorite. I wouldn't doubt it, man, and I don't know why Alexander Usyk would even consider going out to Russia to face the guy. I wouldn't do that. Forget about it. Nah, dude, let's do it in Saudi Arabia in front of some rich Saudi audiences. You know what I mean? I ain't for going over to Russia to fight that, man. That's out. Joe Block says apparently Usyk's training himself for this fight. That's not a good sign. Really? He's not with Lomachenko's pops? What's up with that? I ain't hear about that. We shall see, you know what I mean? But Murat Gassiev, man, he beat the shit out of Isaiah Thomas, you know what I mean? That's straight 1-2, and he got an overhand right that you know, Alexander Usyk, I'm trying to tell you, man, if he gets caught with these power punches, he's not going to last, you know what I mean? Because Dorticos is a fan-friendly fighter, and he tried to be on some, you know, go toe-to-toe in the 11th and 12th round with Murat Gassiev, man, and he paid. He paid the price. And he got stopped in the 12th. You know what I mean? I was watching the fight with my daughter's mother, man, and she couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? Because she thought that the man Dorticos, who looked like the better fighter for at least half of the fight, just capitulated like that. And, you know, I seen it coming, man. You know, he was kind of fading down the stretch, you know what I mean? But Murat Gassiev will put the pressure on the guy, be heavy on the front foot. We'll see if the guy, Alexander Usyk, will be heavy on his back foot. And if he boxes a perfect fight, he can possibly beat the man, Murat Gassiev. But I just think Murat Gassiev will cut off the ring and they'll force this guy to fight, you know what I mean? And I got this man, Alexander Usyk, losing the fight to Murat Gassiev. Close fight, split decision, maybe majority decision. You know what I mean? Probably, you know, a fight that could go either way. But I just think that the man will be applying the pressure on him. And he'll be, I think he'll be blocking a lot of shots, you know what I mean? He'll be blocking a lot of shots with his high guard. And I think he'll be throwing overhand rights and looping right and left hooks that will stun the man, Alexander Usyk, you know what I mean? I think this is the best fighter Alexander Usyk is going to be facing so far in his career. Both guys might move up to heavyweight, but I think Murat Gassiev will win this fight, you know what I mean? So, B-March Boxing, thanks for everybody coming through in the chat. And everybody who's going to listen to this on the archives, leave your thoughts and comments. Let me know who you think is going to win this fight. I got Murat Gassiev by close split decision, maybe majority decision, but they cannot be a draw. Somebody's got to win, you know what I mean? This is for Undisputed, and I commend both of these guys for participating in this Undisputed fight, all right? Joe Blogs, MBT Boxing, James Seltz, thanks for coming through in the chat, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next video, all right? Peace.